We have ourselves an epic fall classic, and it all gets started tonight. Friday Night Lights out in L.A. Dodgers, Yankees, who you got in the World Series? To shine a little light on maybe the direction we should take, and of course, some props, all that and more. We got Luke Arcaini, covers the Phillies and Major League Baseball for us here on The Gambler. Good afternoon, Luke. On a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being it's the Phillies in the World Series, and they're stoked. Where are you at? 1 through 5. Obviously, nothing would move the needle more than a Phillies World Series. So you're not there. But where are you at mentally for the Dodgers and Yankees World Series?
If the Phillies being in it are a 5, I'm probably around a 4.8. I'm
Nice.
amped up, man. This is like, if it's not your team, like this is exactly what you want. Like
Yes.
there's no everybody complains about too big markets, and my only rebuttal to that is, sure, let's watch a Diamondbacks Rangers World Series again. That's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I'm amped up. I'm excited. We got a good matchup tonight. It's going to be a good matchup the entire series. It's two pretty even teams. They both have their strengths. They both have their, in quotes, weaknesses. But I think it's going to be a really awesome series. I think it's going to be one of the better ones that we've seen, honestly, maybe in the 2000s. I think it's going to be an awesome series.
Yeah, I hope that's the case. Like, my prediction is this is going to absolutely go 6, if not 7. I don't see it being finished before in 6. I am leaning towards, like, if it does, I have a side, and I'm fully up front. We'll get yours in a little bit, so let's save that.
So
I do. I'm all about the Dodgers here. I'm all about the Dodgers, and there's multiple reasons. The first big one for me is I feel like they do a little bit more of the gritty work, and I'm sure there's a stat out there that would prove me wrong on that. That's fine, but with my eyes, just judging from what I've seen, especially in the playoffs, the Dodgers being down 2-1 against the Padres, what they did against the Mets, but specifically what they do when it comes to moving that runner over. And both lineups are great. I do think that you get a little bit more pop, a little bit more sizzle from the other three-headed monster from the Dodgers versus the Yankees. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you Judge and Ohtani are going to cancel each other out like some people are. Soto, is going to cancel out Mookie. Like, I'm not going to go down that, but I do think the other guys, the Max Muncies, the Kiki Hernandez, will come up with that timely hit. And Luke, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day with playoff baseball. Is who's going to get that hit with 2 outs and a runner on second, or runner on second and third with 2 outs. And I think the Dodgers will do that a little bit more. So I'm leaning towards the Dodgers. But with that being said, if this series goes 4-1 over in 5, like, I have a good vibe that's the Dodgers coming out on top for some odd reason. I feel pretty strong about that take. Your thoughts on that?
Yeah, if this series ends early, it's gonna be the Dodgers. If this series goes 7, I think it has a really good chance of being the Yankees. I think the Yankees just have to sort of hang around. I think the Dodgers are an overall better team. I think the Yankees may be better when they're clicking on all cylinders, because I think overall, as a staff, I think I'd probably give the edge to the Yankees. I don't love some of these situations that the Dodgers have had to use for starters. They're throwing like bullpen games in the NLCS. They're not in great shape as far as the pitching. I think they have a good bullpen, but the Yankees have to take advantage of the games that they can. Tonight, I think is going to be honestly, I think it's going to be fairly high scoring. I think these two pitchers are obviously really good, but both teams have actually hit these arms really well. The Dodgers have crushed Garrett Cole. That's kind of been my biggest thing. That's kind of why I'm leaning the Dodgers game 1 tonight. They've hit Garrett Cole really well. Mookie Betts, he's hitting 412. Freddie Freeman, 350. These guys have hit him really well in the past. But I think it comes down to these Dodgers, like, fringe guys, like you said. You have the guys like Edman. You have the guys like Hernandez. Both of their Hernandezes, really. Guys Guys like that, if they can get the hits, I think the Dodgers win the series. But if it comes down to a star-crushing series, I think it easily goes at least 6. And I think we know once you get to a game 7, anything can happen. So it's really just a matter of who's out there and who performs. But as far as tonight, no, I am leaning the Dodgers for tonight.
All right. DraftKings Sportsbook, where we're getting our numbers from. Game 1 this evening. Once again, 8:08 first pitch on a Friday night. 9 is our total. So I think that's a little towards your assumption that we might see some runs. It's surprising, though, because Garrett Cole hasn't been that bad in 3 starts in the postseason. And the juices are going to be flowing.
That's the thing, man. The juices flow. Like, everything gets going game 1.
Yeah.
It's once again, the arms are good, but both of these lineups have been solid. For the Yankees, you obviously have really leading the pack is Juan Soto. You got a nice ALCS from Judge later in the series, but you have guys like Glaber. You have guys more in the front of the lineup that have been doing some damage. He's a sneaky that's going to be one of my sneaky World Series MVP selections. I think we'll get there eventually, but I have one guy from each team that I believe are both above 40-1 to win World Series MVP. If you go back and you look at the World Series MVPs, it's funny. It's rare that it's like the best player on the team. You saw it last year with Seager, but other than that, it's very like low key, like fringe guy names. So I have a few of those we'll get into later. But yeah, I think tonight has a chance to be pretty high scoring. I think the offenses are going to be all juiced up. The Yankees hit righties really well, and the Dodgers hit really well at home. So I think this one has a chance tonight to be pretty high scoring, I think.
Yeah, it could be the case. Again, Garrett Cole taking on Flaherty. DraftKings showing Flaherty minus 130 favorites here. Garrett Cole plus 110 there. Again, talking about what Garrett Cole has been able to do so far this postseason. He's been pretty damn good. He's had 3 starts. He's 1-0, 3.31, including a game 2 start in the ALCS where he gave up 2 runs over 4 1/3 for a 6-3 dub. He has 8 career starts against the Dodgers, 4-2, 5.01 ERA, giving up 1 run in 6 innings, pick up a win last season. So some familiarity, as you said there, both sides. Again, Garrett Cole, we know that he's ready for the moment. Flaherty, correct me if I'm wrong, Flaherty hasn't really had too much to do. All right, so Flaherty 1-2 with a 7.04 ERA and 3 postseason starts. Again,
he's gotten roughed up these playoffs. His ERA, his playoffs is over 7. He got crushed by the Mets last Friday. He allowed 8 earned runs in 3 innings with 8 hits, no strikeouts. He threw really well against the Mets. I believe that was game 1. But he got roughed up against the Padres. If this Yankees lineup can get going, they've hit righties really good all year. I believe they're the league leader in OPS this year against righties. If they can get going against Flaherty early, I think they could have a chance. But I just really like the Dodgers lineup against Garrett Cole tonight.
Flaherty pitched last year for Baltimore in the ALDS and ended up losing to Texas. Gave up 4.50 ERA and 1 start, only 2 innings pitched there. And then in St. Louis, 2020, 0-1. 2019, that was his only action there. 2019, 1 start there. Not really good there for St. Louis either in the NLCS against Washington. In Atlanta, he was 1 of 1 for St. Louis in that NLDS back in 2019 to start the postseason run. So some good, not really all that good lately there. I'll definitely give the starting pitching advantage to Garrett Cole this evening. So with that, you have to make it up in the lineup, and I think that's where these superstars are going to show up in a big way. To me, I just think Shohei Ohtani is ready for this.
I think that's kind of where I'm at.
His chops.
Yeah, I was looking at like the matchups and like Mookie against Cole and Freeman against Cole, both guys who have hit really well against Garrett Cole. And then I'm just like, the stats tell you one thing, but if you're just talking about the moment, it feels like Shohei. It feels like this is the stage. This is the only stage you haven't seen him on yet. You've seen him in the biggest stage of the World Baseball Classic. You've seen him throughout now every single playoff series. This is the one thing for Shohei that you really haven't seen yet is him in the World Series. So, I mean, if you're going off of stats and if you want to bet props tonight, as far as players, I would look Mookie and Freddie. Those have been the two guys that have sort of had the most success. But if I don't know, man, if you're going to just bet on the moment, it feels like Shohei. Like every time it seems like the moment's been big for him, he's just gotten better. So that's kind of where I'm back and forth. I like Mookie and Freddie tonight, but I'd be an idiot not to bet at least a little bit on Shohei tonight.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Now, Freddie is dealing with the ankle injury. Definitely was hobbled out there, week off. So hopefully he's looking a little bit better and ready to go. Shohei, though, I'll tell you right now, Luke, I will take this. If you lay this number in front of me every single game for this series, I will take this. Over, under, total bases, 1.5 at -115. Sure.
Let's do it. Let's take it every game and let's see what happens. Make
game.
I mean, there's no way you don't profit from that. There's no shot.
The -1, yeah, look, at the end, -115, so somewhat of a juice there, understood, but like that's got the vibe of a Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown, right? It's like, all right, Eagles are playing, well, Jalen Hurts is going to get an opportunity on the goal line. Shohei Ohtani, he's going to have 4 at-bats, he's leading off. Over 1.5 can get you that in his first at-bat every single game. He's that much of a threat. And we're not telling anybody something they don't know unless they've been living underneath the rock. So that's where I'm looking at Shohei Ohtani there, over 1.5. As far as home runs is concerned, do you think we see some bombs tonight out there? Because if we're going to get to that number, the 9 total, somebody's hitting a bomb. Who's going to hit that home run tonight in your mind?
As far as the bomb, I don't know. I liked Mookie's past stats against Cole. I haven't loved betting on Mookie so far these playoffs.
Plus 475 on DraftKings.
How it's gone. I would maybe look towards Hernandez, Teoscar Hernandez. I know he's obviously been a lot hotter against lefties this year, but he's the guy for me he's the guy for me that really has to get something this playoffs. That's really my X factor there for the Dodgers. I feel like I think you know what you're going to get from Shohei, Mookie, Freddie. If you can have him hitting really out of the number 5 spot because they have Edman in the cleanup throughout the NLCS, if you can have a top 5 like that with Edman hitting how he was, I don't see the Dodgers losing. So maybe Teoscar tonight. I mean, I would also probably just lean towards Judge, him or Soto. I feel like this is going to be sort of the playoffs where, as far as right now, this is such a star-studded playoffs. And I think if you're hoping for that kind of series, I think you sort of have to be hoping for those to be the guys that go yard. So I would probably look towards Soto. Maybe over Judge. He's just had an unbelievable playoffs. I mean, we watched that home run in what was that? That was Friday night or Saturday night.
Friday night. Dude's just Saturday night. Excuse me, Saturday night. Right.
Yeah. Yep. I would look towards Soto and maybe Teoscar tonight as far as the homers.
All right. Again, game 1 tonight, DraftKings Sportsbook. We're going to numbers. We got Luke Arcaini talking all of things World Series. Let's get on over to the MVP discussion because to me, when you have the lineups as they are, it's going to be really hard not to give it to a superstar, just from a voter's perspective. However, totally understand what you're cooking up because I have the list in front of me. We'll go into that in just a second. I want to give you an opposing view here, but a decent number at 25-1. And it all really does, I think, really land on his back, or should I say his arm. Because if he does start game 1 with the victory, you're a leader in the clubhouse. Bar none, unless Judge or Soto goes absolutely berserk tonight. Garrett Cole, if he goes out there and pitches to a game 1 victory, 6, 7 innings, whatever it may be, he is your front runner for World Series MVP. Right now, he's 25-1, Luke. He's scheduled to pitch game 5. You know damn well this goes 7. He's going to be back out there. This is a Madison Bumgarner. This is a Verlander, a Strasburg, Cole Hamels. That's what's setting up right here in my mind. 25-1. And here's my other flip side on that play, Luke. I'm a Dodgers guy. Damn, it feels good to say that. So now I got action on the Yankees, because if the Yankees do pull this off, chances are it's because of Garrett Cole and his arm. So I got 25-1 on Garrett Cole. So a little piece of both sides. Back in the Dodgers, I'm gonna roll with Garrett Cole on MVP. From the Dodgers perspective, I'm having a hard time with anybody but Shohei.
Yeah, that's fair. I think the good part for Cole there is too that if you like the Dodgers, and we've sort of already said, if the Yankees win, it's probably going to be in 6 or 7, meaning there's a chance that he's going to pitch 3 times. There could be a chance if this series goes 7, they could throw him game 1, game 4, and 7.
I think he's slated for 5, if I'm not mistaken.
For 5, yeah. So maybe not. But listen, if they get to a game 7 and he needs to go out there, he's going to go out there.
It's World Series.
So listen, if he gives you 2 quality starts and maybe an inning out of a bullpen in a game 7, that's a really good number. As far as mine, I do like Juan Soto 5-1. That's kind of like my square bet. Just sort of like, I think if the Yankees win, I think he wins MVP. I think he wins over Judge just because how he's been these playoffs. Obviously, the MVP matters only on the World Series. But I just think Juan Soto is just seeing a beach ball right now at the plate. As far as my sort of flyers, I like from the Dodgers side, I like Tommy Edman 25-1 right now.
Hell.
And as far as the Yankees, I like Glaber 30-1. We can go down this list like you said. Last year was Seager, 2022 Jeremy Pena, 2021 Jorge Soler, 2022 Seager, 19 Strasburg, 2018 Steve Pearce, 2017 George Springer, 2016 Ben Zobrist, 2015 Salvador Perez, 14 and 13 were pretty square. 2012 Pablo Sandoval, 2011 David Freese, 2010 Edgar Renteria. The best player normally doesn't win these MVPs. As far as the straight, listen, if the Dodgers win and it's an all-time series, it's probably going to be Shohei. It's not going to be anybody else. If they can get Shohei a ring and a World Series MVP in his first year with the biggest market team, they're going to do it. But that's no fun for me. So I'm going to go Edman. I'm going to go Glaber. And I've been trying to find an absolute nuke. Haven't really found many yet. I do like Jazz as well, 35-1. He seems like a guy that if he gets on a big stage, he can get going. So there's a lot of options here. And I think that's sort of the fun thing about this huge market team is there's a lot of value on the MVPs. There's a lot of good players, but there's also a lot of under the radar guys that can win that. So I'm going to roll with Edman. I'm going to roll with Glaber. And then most likely just as my normal one, I'm going to roll with Juan Soto.
All right. I like the Soto play. Edman's out of nowhere. God bless,
Tommy Edman's been a dog, dude.
I know. You are the only one I've heard him mention his name about the MVP, but what you just said, though, is correct. You go down these lists. I have no idea who the hell Steve Pearce is. I do know from him because of Julian Edlow joined us.
That's a Dave Dombrowski 2018 trade deadline acquisition right there.
That's hysterical.
Steve Pearce.
And dude ends up winning it for the Sox as a first baseman. And I do remember his name coming up a lot because of how outside the zone it was for him to win it. But, Jorge Soler, we know what he was able to do with the Braves. He was mashing. Seager has delivered. It's going to be tough for these voters not to give it to a superstar because there's so many. And that's why, out of all you said, I really like your Soto play.
I got to ask you a question real quick, too.
He's really seeing it better, too, than anybody. So I like your Soto play. What's up?
Who do you think leads the Dodgers in hits these playoffs? That's Tommy Edman. Who do you think is tied for number 1 in runs batted in on the Dodgers this playoffs? That is also Tommy Edman.
What?
Who do you think is 5th in the entire team in OPS and only trails number 4 by 30 points? That is Tommy Edman. I'm telling you, dude, he's been a monster. He's been an absolute monster.
Here's the caveat. If he wins, you got to buy a DH Gate Tommy Edmond jersey.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Deal. Deal. Done deal. Done deal.
That's my favorite part about all this nonsense.
Tommy Edmond, baby.
All right, game one going on tonight. Any idea we'll get you out of here on this one? I apologize. Never ask a question you don't know the answer to, but what's the schedule here? Is it tonight, tomorrow, off day?
Yes. So we have Friday game one. Game two is actually tomorrow.
Correct.
So back-to-backs there. Then they have a day off Sunday.
Yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
They'll go back to New York for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yep.
3 games in a row. And then if game 6 is obviously necessary, they'll go back Friday. And if there's a game 7, it'll be Saturday night on prime time. Game 7 of the World Series. I need a 7-game series, like really bad.
Two of the best teams.
7 good games of baseball before I don't have it for the next 4 months.
2 of the best teams throughout the course of the season. 98-64 on the year for the LA Dodgers. The Yankees 94-68 this season. I think it's been a slightly more impressive run as far as the playoffs are concerned for the Dodgers, but none of that matters. It all comes down to 7 games. Actually, 1 game tonight, and it's 1 game at a time. So old cliche speak there, but it's the truth. Luke will be all over it. I look forward to catching up with you on Monday. We'll definitely be talking all things World Series on Monday, and of course, all next week on the Daily Ticket. Hopefully, Tommy Edmond cashes. If not, maybe Garrett Cole. Both are 25-1. So I think that's a win each way. And go Dodgers. I don't want to see New York happy. I just don't want to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Dodgers in 7. Dodgers in 7. I think this is going to be an all-time series, like all-timer.
I'm going to back off it. I'm going to go Dodgers in 5.
Ooh.
Yeah. That payout. Let me see that one. Series props really quick. Series
that's gotta be
games.
Series props.
Dodgers in 5. Dodgers 4-1 plus 600.
Ooh. Okay.
I'm going to roll with that. I'm going to roll with Dodgers.
Dodgers 4-3 is plus 475.
It's good grief. Yeah, no one's buying this. It's going to be a quick one. Everyone's saying 6 or 7, but it's understood. All right,
Tommy Edmond, World Series MVP.
We'll see what happens there. Great stuff. Luke Arcaini. Make sure you follow him on all things socials here and right here on The Gambler. Read them at crossingbroad.com. Always a pleasure, Luke. Don't go anywhere. Mark Henry Jr. is going to come up on the other side. We're going to talk some Eagles and Bengals right here on the Daily Ticket. Back after this. Boom.